almost a whisper, growing to full voice. In 246 BC, a 13-year-old boy became emperor of China. He immediately began building his tomb. He would spend the next 36 years obsessed with a single problem that no emperor before him had solved. How do you take your power with you when you die? What followed was the largest construction project in human history at the time. An underground palace complex covering 56 square kilometers, larger than the city of San Francisco. Inside it, rivers of liquid mercury recreating the geography of China's waterways. Crossbow traps designed to fire automatically at anyone who entered without permission. And guarding all of it, 8,000 soldiers. Not painted on walls, not carved in relief. Standing, life-size, armed with real weapons. Each one with a different face. To build this, Huang conscripted 700,000 workers. Farmers torn from their fields, prisoners from conquered kingdoms, criminals, scholars who said the wrong thing. They worked in shifts, year-round, for 38 years. Historical records describe the death toll simply as enormous. Bodies of workers who died on site were sometimes buried directly into the structure they were building. The emperor believed the dead made better building material than the living. They did not complain. They did not leave. The clay came from the banks of the Wei River, a specific deposit chosen for its density and low stone content. Each warrior was not poured from a mold. The torso was hollow, fired in sections to prevent the clay from exploding in the kiln. The head was made separately, then attached. But here is what makes this army unlike anything else built in the ancient world. Every face is different. 8,000 faces, 0 repeats. Archaeologists have debated for decades how this was achieved. The current consensus: artisans started from a small number of base face types, perhaps 8, and then modified each one individually before firing. Different nose, different jaw angle, different expression. Each warrior represents a real person. We just don't know who. Firing a life-size hollow ceramic figure at 1,000 degrees Celsius without cracking it is extraordinarily difficult. Even with modern kiln technology, experienced ceramic artists consider it a challenge. These craftsmen were doing it with wood-fired kilns, empirical temperature reading, and the knowledge that failure was not professionally acceptable. Researchers analyzing the warriors found that the firing conditions were remarkably consistent across thousands of figures, suggesting kiln masters who had developed a precise, repeatable process that has never been fully reconstructed. When the warriors emerged from the kilns, they were not the orange-brown figures you see in museums today. They were painted, vivid, specific, individual. Vermilion red armor, black lacquered top knots, pink skin tones, green accents, an army in full color, underground, in the dark. When archaeologists opened the pits in 1974, the color was still there for approximately 4 minutes. Exposure to oxygen after 2,200 years underground caused the lacquer base layer to curl and detach in under a week. The paint was gone before anyone could stop it. Every colored surface you see on the warriors today is what survived that exposure, which is almost nothing. The army you visit in Xi'an is not the army that was built. The real army was in color. The real army has never been seen by anyone alive. This is why more than 2/3 of the site remains unexcavated. The Chinese government is waiting for preservation technology that doesn't yet exist.
Now, the part of this story that historians have argued about for 2,200 years. The ancient text Records of the Grand Historian, written approximately 90 years after the mausoleum's completion, states clearly, after the emperor's burial was sealed, all workers who knew the location of the inner chambers were locked inside. The historian Sima Qian writes, lest they reveal what was there. For decades, Western archaeologists treated this as legend, propaganda, an exaggeration to emphasize the emperor's power. Then, in 2017, excavation teams found something they were not looking for. In the areas directly surrounding the sealed inner burial chambers, a significant concentration of human skeletal remains, not in burial position. In position consistent with people who were in the structure when it was sealed. The legend had a body count. But the artisans were not the only ones sealed inside. The emperor himself was there. And according to the same historical record, he was surrounded by rivers. Recent soil analysis of the burial mound detected mercury concentrations hundreds of times above normal levels, concentrated in patterns that suggest the rivers were not metaphorical. The emperor believed mercury was the substance of immortality. He had been consuming small doses of it for years, prescribed by his own court physicians as a longevity treatment. The mercury likely killed him at 49, and it preserved his tomb. The mercury vapor makes excavation of the inner chambers currently impossible without equipment that would disturb everything it was meant to protect. The emperor is still in there, surrounded by his mercury rivers, waiting. For 2,200 years, no one knew. The location was lost. The records were suppressed. The people who knew were dead. The mound became just a hill, the kind of hill that exists in Shaanxi without explanation. In March 1974, farmers in the village of Xi'an were drilling a well. At 5 meters depth, one of them, a man named Yang Jifa, hit something that was not rock. He reached in and pulled out a ceramic head. He thought it was a demon. He showed it to the village elder, who told him to put it back and not speak of it. He didn't put it back. He sold the fragments to the local cultural bureau for 30 yuan, approximately $4. What Yang Jifa had found was the largest archaeological discovery of the 20th century.
Secure it and untie the ropes.
3 main pits, covering 22,000 square meters. Pit 1 alone contains an estimated 6,000 warriors. Only 2,000 have been excavated. Pit 3 is the command center, a smaller formation of senior officers arranged as if holding a strategic briefing that has lasted 2 millennia. Each warrior still carries the name of the workshop that made it, stamped into the clay before firing. A quality control system, a paper trail from 246 BC. From those stamps, researchers have identified the names of individual master craftsmen, men whose names survived only because they were required to put them on what they made. Their faces did not survive. Their names did. More than 2/3 of the mausoleum complex remains sealed and unexcavated. The inner burial chamber, containing the emperor himself, has not been opened. Officially out of respect. Practically because no one yet knows how to open it without destroying everything inside.
The warriors in the open pits are already deteriorating, faster than anyone predicted. Color gone, some structural integrity compromised by changes in humidity since excavation. The ones still sealed underground are in perfect condition. The Emperor's paranoia may have been the greatest act of preservation in human history. 8,000 faces, each one different, each one made by someone whose name we will never know, standing in the dark for 2,200 years. Still facing forward. Still waiting.